stopping by and giving your insight on the Hall of Fame.
Charlie Hustle.
No. I got a doctor. And here come the judge. Judge Muggsy McLovin going to bring you all the local. The doctor going to run you around a lot of stuff in under 27 and a half minutes. But right now, your best local sports in the state. All rise. What's going on, Muggs? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we've been away for a little while. A couple weeks, haven't we?
Been a long time since a rock and roll.
No vacation.
Yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly recap a lot of things that have been happening in the past 3-4 weeks.
Okay.
High school basketball, we're halfway home.
Halfway home.
And I've compiled my own top 10s that I'm going to really quickly run down here. We'll start ladies first, okay? We can start with ladies first, right? We'll start number 10, Lakeland 7-4. Number 9, North Pocono also 7-4. Number 8, Abington Heights, they are 6-5 on the year.
8, huh? It's high for them.
Yeah. Number 7, the Lady Crusaders of Holy Cross.
Holy Cross.
Number 6, the Lady Wildcats of Western Wayne, led by the Carmody sisters.
Holy Haunt.
Number 5, the Lady Buckhorns from Wallenpaupack. Number Wallenpaupack 9-2, Western Wayne 8-3 on the year. I forgot them, and 8-3 for the Holy Cross. I forgot about that for a sec. Number 4, the Lady Bucks of Dunmore 9-2.
The Lady Bucks.
Number 3, the Lady Blue Devils of Old Forge, a perfect 11-0 so far on the year.
Wow.
Number 2, the Classics of Scranton Prep, 10-1 on the year. Lynette Tournament champions on the girls' side. And number 1, the Lady Hornets of Honesdale. They are 10-0.
Wow. Start looking for Mia Kashuba on Scranton Prep. Start looking for that name. She's a young, she's a freshman this year.
She's a fresh face.
She's a freshman, right, Razzle? Yeah. Yeah, she's good stuff, man. Talented player. Kashuba.
Okay. On the boys' side, start with number 10, the Cavaliers of Scranton Prep, 6-5 on the year, but they have played a tough schedule.
They really have.
Number 9, the Vikings of Riverside, new coach, same story. They just keep winning games. They are 8-3 on the year. Number 8, the Blue Devils of Old Forge. They got all those football players, Tomasetti, Brandon Wall. They just keep winning. Number 7, up there in Susquehanna County, the Warriors of Elk Lake, 9-1 on the year, led by Rob Heft. He's a hefty.
Hefty. Whippy.
Now, number 6, the Warriors of Delaware Valley, 8-3 on the year, led by all their football players, Shore and Decker and Brent Fragola. Number 5, the Buckhorns of Wallenpaupack, 8-3 on the year. Number 4, Holy Cross is 7-3, but you can make the argument they played a tough schedule too. Number 3, the Mid-Valley Spartans, 10-1 on the year. Randy Tomasetti leading the charge for them. Their only loss was to Dunmore so far in the year. Number 2, and I'm probably going to get in a lot of trouble for this, but Scranton.
Oh, not one. Okay.
Scranton is number 2 at 9-1.
Wow.
They won the Lynette tournament, and they've won the last couple games without Quiller. Go figure that one.
Hi, Egbert.
Quiller was down in Miami for some big game that we might be talking about in a couple minutes.
I didn't see any game last week.
And number 1, Abington Heights.
JC.
Well,
It's the big show. Now, why does Abington go over Scranton, Muggs?
Because Abington did play. I think Abington is the better. I mean, we'll find that out in a couple weeks whether or not Abington or Scranton's a bit. But when you look at what Abington's played so far, Abington did play Myers. Their one loss was a loss to Wilkes-Barre Myers, which is number 1 in the state in AA right now, according to the Harrisburg Patriot News. So I mean, you can make that argument. It's halfway. We don't know. well, I think January 21st, I think 22nd at Abington Heights. I think the first of their 2 games this year.
That'll be a packed house up there for that.
It's always a packed house. They get excited over a spitting contest.
Just to let you know, I would put Scranton number 1 on my list.
Spitters?
No.
Oh, basketball. Okay.
Down and out? Having a bad day? Go to MattyVision.com, where smiles are not only guaranteed, they're also free. So go around and explore, have some fun, learn something, and who knows, you might even make a friend. MattyVision.com, we dream big.
Okay, a couple of wrestling tidbits here to take care of. Wrestling, we had Delaware Valley, Western Wayne expected to win districts in both AAA and AA. They've had some respectable places in their holiday tournaments. Delaware Valley, Bethlehem Liberty is always one of the state powers in wrestling.
Led by Kofi Kingston.
Yeah. They were 5th at the Hurricane Classic over the holidays. Fifth place is very respectable in that kind of a tournament. Down Lehigh Valley tournaments are always well and competitive. Jalen Palmer and Martin Strink were 2 finalists for Delaware Valley in that tournament. For Western Wayne, they were another prestigious holiday tournament up here is the Tunkhannock Kiwanis Classic. Western Wayne tied for 3rd. They had 4 finalists and 1 champion. Lucas Karnick was their lone champion and placed 3 others in finals, including Morgan Fuller and Connor Rosensweet.
Ivan Putski had a big match.
Yeah, and
I
they
have Sheik too.
You know who they tied for 3rd with the Scranton Knights in that tournament. Then Scranton crowned 2 champions, Jimmy McNally and Kazim, and I hope I say this right, Bakarev.
If you know them, share them to their page.
So that takes care. And quick, we want to get in. I want to get into a little bit of swimming here quickly. Yeah, what he's doing. One of the more controversial moments happened from December, which is kind of lost with all the with Dunmore football and all that, was a swim meet between Abington Heights and Holy Redeemer on the girls' side. They have 3 scores apparently. One score had the match 95-91 Abington. It's like boxing. Another one had a win for Holy Redeemer. They couldn't figure it out. It was what they actually had to go to the PIAA, and they finally figured out Abington Heights won this meet on December 13th, 95-91, but it took them 6 days to figure it out.
I think there was some payoffs to fix it.
Don King was behind it all.
Don King?
Yeah.
No,
Big hair.
Don King wouldn't know 50 freestyle from 100 backstroke.
Don King.
Anyway, and also a couple girls that we mentioned last year, they're back for Scranton Prep. Me and Nonnenberg and Katie Wojtek. They just keep...
A couple of the best in the state right
yeah,
now.
it doesn't matter what pool they go into. They keep setting records. They keep setting pool records. They keep setting school records. It goes on and on and on with those 2 girls. And they'll be very tough to beat in districts, and they should be very tough to beat when they get to states coming up in March. And a couple of other shout-outs here. A couple of a Scranton girl setting her own school records. Erin Kazmierzak. Thank you, doctor. Point for the doctor.
Polish. That's it.
Point for the doctor. She's been setting records, 10-year-old school records for Scranton High School swimming in the 200 freestyle and the 500 freestyle that were once held by Brianna Borgia, who was a good swimmer in her own right. And also, standings-wise so far, since they all compete in the Wyoming Valley Conference, Abington Heights and Scranton Prep and Scranton are all 2-0 in the Northern Division. And in the girls and on the boys, we have a kind of a nice battle brewing. Scranton Prep and Scranton are 2-0 on the boys. Delaware Valley 1-0. Abington Heights and Valley View are all 1-1. They're 1-1. And Tunkhannock's kind of thrown in there as well, since it's Wyoming Valley Conference. But and that's all I can throw in there. And what was that? About 10 minutes?
About 20 half.
Yeah.
We're in a recess.
Gavel's brang, that brang, gavel has been banged or the bavel has been ganged. One of the two. We're going to take a recess here, go back to the judges' chambers, have a couple pints, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk Baseball Hall of Fame nods. We're going to talk
lack thereof. Spoiler.
National Championship.
Not so
Maybe.
much.
Which sport?
And some NFL playoff action. Stay tuned after the breaks, kids. Okay, we're back from the break. From a couple pints with the doctor and the Muggs. Muggs bought this week. Cheers, Guinness, because the Potterprith is going to Dublin this weekend.
I heard, yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Next week's Egg Shaped
Aye.
Ball, we're going to have a special interview with who? Kenny Nash.
Kenny Nash, huh?
The return of the Irish Giant. Yes!
Kenny Nash.
I got a doctor. Doctor, what are we talking about first? We want to touch on this
Bad
Hall of
news
Fame?
first, or what? We have unfortunately, we have a couple of things bad news. Hall of Fame voting for Major League Baseball was today. Muggs, do you want to tell them who got in?
Who got? I don't think there wasn't anybody.
Nobody got into the Hall of
Nobody
Fame.
got
I can
into the
never
Hall of
remember that happening. They should at least give it to the person with the highest percentage votes because they didn't reach the allotted
75%.
percent. That
Craig-
means no one's getting in. Craig Biggio was the highest,
He was sick. He had 68% of the vote. He needed to be put on 39 more ballots.
and he's a 3,000 hit guy, one of the best second basemen to ever play. He was a multi.
But it's the beginning of the new era as far as Hall of Fame voting.
Clemens, Barry Bonds, and Sosa were all up for.
Here, listen, I understand the debate where you have to figure out if we're going to start allowing these players in or not, because otherwise the Hall of Fame's done. But Roger Clemens, in the highest court of our country, not guilty.
He was not found guilty.
He was
of
not
lying,
found guilty, and he has not been ever acknowledged steroid use. He's
Well,
not ever
I think
failed the test.
a lot of the baseball player or writers who vote for the Hall of Fame, they believe when there's smoke, there's fire.
Oh, he
You know?
did it,
They
but
do.
according to the law,
Yeah.
he is innocent. So
Hey.
why is Roger Clemens not in?
How about
Because
How about-
because when you put it in the hands of these little nerds who probably suck that little league baseball.
Whoa!
I'm talking about the writers. You know,
What
they're
did
gonna
you
vote for
call?
the baseball writers, little nerds.
Buster Posey, nerd.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying he is, but
Oh, he is.
But you put it in the hands of all these guys. I think the Hall of Fame players, the ones who are still alive, should vote. See
Sammy
who
Sosa.
belongs in their fraternity.
Sammy Sosa.
You know? And maybe managers or former managers or Sosa.
He was never found guilty.
No.
Never admitted.
And here's what I don't like. I mean, Mike Piazza was
One of the best catchers
one
of
of the
all
best
time,
hitting catch, and there was nobody.
400 home runs.
He wasn't implicated once by any writing medium.
Yeah, you're right.
He wasn't, and yet he only got 57% of the vote.
Kurt Schilling single-handedly
It's like
took down the Yankees.
it's like you're guilty by association in
bloody
this
sock.
era.
And another thing that the writers like to cling to is it a first ballot Hall of Famer or not? They've been saying since Biggio retired, they don't think he's first ballot material, which means in your first year, you
And
might
he
get
did
in.
get 68, so I think eventually he'll get in.
I think he'll be in next year.
Yeah.
I think more of them will vote for him.
I think
Schilling will get in the next handful of years.
And you also got to remember next year you're going to have Maddox and Glavine on the ballot
Yeah,
for the
that's
first
true.
time.
Yeah.
And those are two guys I think you have
Maddox
to put in.
gets in first.
Maddox.
Glavine, I'm not sure.
Maddox, definitely.
Schilling already has a sock at Cooperstown.
And that's another thing I heard. You go into the Cooperstown, and they have
a shrine to shilling already. From
Yeah.
the bloody sock day.
has stuff
That's
in
great.
there.
Yeah. But
it's one of those subjects.
Times are changing, but remember, kids, when you do something, you're going to be held accountable later. Consequences, consequences. All right, national championship.
Or lack thereof.
College football, you mean?
Are we talking about it?
It was. All I gotta say is, if the game started in the third quarter, it would have been a tie game at the half, because it was 14-14. Though unfortunately, it was over by the end of the
Here's
first
my
quarter.
analogy of it. Notre Dame waited 5 minutes to come on the field because they wanted Alabama to take the field first, so they could kind of say, "Oh, we're gonna chase Alabama." You know what? They were still chasing them.
The game never got off to the wrong foot. If you didn't watch it, I'm sure you heard Alabama won 42-14, and which never really was a contested game.
Yeah, 42-14 makes it sound competitive. It wasn't.
Listen to this guy over here.
Wow. Wow.
It wasn't competitive. It was, and, as a Notre Dame fan, if you came up before the game, you said, "I bet you $20 Notre Dame loses," I would have took the bet. But if you told me,
they would
all right, if you pick the right team to win this and I'll pay your college debt, I probably would have picked Alabama, even as a Notre Dame fan. I mean, 3 out of 4, they get the best players almost every year. Great, proven coaching. Alabama, take your hat off to
And
them.
they also have the best girlfriends.
Oh, yeah, geez, McCarron's girlfriend.
Yeah.
I guess she's decent looking. I guess. And it's funny, she had a couple hundred followers on Twitter before the game started. Now she's over 100. She was over 100,000 by the next day.
At theglidezone.com.
No, it wasn't even by the next day. It was by the end of it was within the 20 minutes that her picture was first put. And I think people forget. She went to Auburn. That should be a sin.
But she was Miss Alabama.
But it's still a sin for the Alabama quarterback to be dating someone, no matter how good looking she is.
You seen her?
What do you mean?
What school she goes to?
It's a sin because you're dating.
Kids live in sin these days. I don't know if you've been out in public lately, but it's all right. Alabama crushed them over 500 yards, comfortably of total offense. McCarron, I never saw him play a game that good. And so,
last year,
hats off to the
year's
Crimson
game,
Tide.
he was.
Someone said to me, Notre Dame.
And you wonder now. You think should Texas A&M get a rematch? You think Nick Saban?
I wonder.
Give me 4 weeks against Johnny Football.
Yeah, I don't think Johnny Football pulls off another win.
Not if Saban's got 4 weeks to scheme him.
You know what? One burning question I have is, where will they rank Notre Dame in the polls to start the year next year? Does that put them out of the top 8 or 10?
Well, you know what? Right now they have a pretty good recruiting class. I think the number one recruiting class right now, and they'll have a lot of talent. I mean, Golston
should get better.
Yeah, so Notre Dame, at least Notre Dame, you figure, okay, now they're coming back to prominence a little bit.
We'll see. It definitely feels a little darker of a day for Notre Dame football than it did a week ago. But moving on.
All right, we'll take it off your plate there, Dugan.
Instead of sitting around the house all day doing nothing, get outside, get some exercise, and have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Let's talk some NFL.
NFL playoffs underway. We had a couple of good games last week. Probably the most notable thing to come if you were watching any media or you watched the game, Washington and Seattle. Seattle wins. RG3 limping around all game, goes down in the second half. He has a torn ACL and LCL. And now people are questioning Shanahan, should he have played? Should he have risked the future of the franchise to win a playoff game? And he's getting pretty bashed in the media.
Sure you do.
I'd like to know what you guys think about
It's
that.
our Strasburger argument.
Yeah.
If you can play, you play.
Yeah, if you can play, you play.
That's it. Brett Favre, you think he ever said?
No, he played with a broken hand.
Oh, we almost went all season without mentioning Favre.
We did. You might have ruined it. Honestly, we had to have used him once. Or twice.
Oh,
man.
Muggs, all right, what do you think on that Shanahan deal?
I think you play your. I mean, obviously he wasn't 100%, but he was. The Redskins came right out and scored. I think people forget they were
14-0.
2 drives, and you're like, What injury? What I mean, and they'd won 7 games coming in the last 2 with our. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, you play your best player and you let the chips fall where they may. Now, I thought in the 3rd quarter, I thought maybe you should have made the move because they weren't going to win 14-13. I think
that's I think darned if you do and darned if you don't situation.
Yeah.
If you remember a couple years ago when Cutler sat out because of his knee, everyone questioned his guts, his heart. And it took him out. You know, it's always going to be something. You're always going to get, if you don't win, you're always going to get criticized for one thing or the other.
Yeah.
And let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Seattle this week, Sunday, first game, they're playing Atlanta. Seattle is one of the hottest teams in the NFC.
in Atlanta, the pressure's on them to win because
Matt Ryan has never had this much pressure to win.
Yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought Matt Ryan? You figured RG3, Russell Wilson, Joe Webb were the 3 teams that he could have played this week, and now one of them's got more playoff wins than Matt Ryan does.
Yeah.
And
Russell Wilson.
Matt Ryan's about to play his 4th postseason game.
And Seattle, they're not as good on the road as they are at home, but they're a pretty gritty team.
And they got nothing. I mean, they're going to
play
play
physical
that,
defense.
They'll play that us against the world attitude. Although I think
Big bandwagon team right now. Everybody's on that
Marshawn Lynch is a beast.
Beast mode.
There's not a more appropriate nickname in the NFL than beast mode. There really isn't. He's a beast, and he's playing as good as he has in his career.
Yeah.
Do you think they pulled the upset though?
Nah, I think
one more win for Seattle. Yay or nay?
Nay. I think Atlanta wins this week. It's a close game, but Atlanta wins.
Close game. Atlanta wins in the Georgia Dome. I'm gonna agree with Muggsy there. I like Atlanta to win. A pretty contested game. I don't think they blow the doors off them, but I think Matt Ryan this year is a better quarterback.
Yeah, Atlanta's won a lot of close games. They made a lot of plays in the 4th quarter. So, and this is gonna be a 4-quarter game.
Let's kick it over to a Saturday game.
I like Seattle,
You
actually.
like Seattle?
Yeah, thanks.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what I think.
You're just a pretty face for the people at home.
I'm pretty, too.
Okay.
All right, Saturday.
We'll go backwards to Saturday. We'll go early game, Baltimore against Peyton Manning and his Denver Broncos.
Peyton Manning.
If you remember and have been following the show, I picked to win it all early on.
Peyton
I picked
Manning.
them to go to the Super Bowl. Is there a debate here? Baltimore did. A lot of people picked the Colts to beat Baltimore last week, and Baltimore, they did enough to beat them.
Yeah.
And Flacco looked decent.
Peyton Manning.
Flacco looked decent, but you know what? Now you start to wonder. I mean, Ray Lewis that's another thing we didn't talk. I mean, Ray Lewis
Guilty.
comes back, other than his interception that he should have had, he looked like the Ray Lewis of old. Now, does that translate to this week going up in that mile-high air?
I think this might be the most contested game of the week, the most physical, and we'll see. Denver's home. Baltimore's playing.
Peyton Manning.
They're all playing for Ray right now. They want to see him play one more game, and they want him to get to another Super Bowl. But I think Ray got his final home win. I think that this will be his last game. You see 52 for the Ravens.
Peyton Manning. That's all I'm saying.
I think Denver goes on and wins. I think you do too.
Peyton.
Peyton.
So right now,
we're all going for Denver.
We're all for Denver. The night game Saturday. Green Bay at San Fran.
The most exciting game that I see there.
Harbaugh's coming at McCarthy. Rodgers versus Kaepernick. Who knows? Maybe Alex Smith will make a cameo. I don't think so. The Packers. Great coach team. Do you think they can figure out this spread option, pistol, all these funky formations the Niners do?
Here's what you can pick either team and you wouldn't regret either pick. I think in this game because you gotta remember you can't look at the first game that went all the way back a week 1.
Well, I'm not gonna look at it
because there was just so much unknown at that point. But Harbaugh, when they have a good game plan, they play their best game, and I think they'll have the right game. I think Kaepernick gives them that added dimension. Now, I don't like how his limited play. This would be his first playoff game, so you got to question that. And of course, the Packers. I mean, I don't know. You don't. I can't pick this game. I mean,
That's your
I
job,
could pick this game, and
Well, let me tell you what I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah,
Maybe
go
it'll
ahead.
sway you.
give me something.
I usually, generally, in a playoff game, I go for the better quarterback that's going to win. In this game,
Amen.
I'm going no different.
No,
His name is Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
He's the son of the Mr. Rodgers. Not the one from the TV. That's just his father's. Anyways, I think he's smart enough. And I think when the Niners are coming at you, that's when they beat you. When Alvin Smith's hitting the quarterback, the other Smith. They have like 3 Smiths on the team. I think Rodgers has enough weapons. I think he's good enough. I think they're going to control the ball. And Kaepernick playing from behind, I don't think he's going to have enough bullets in the pistol.
I guess you could say.
That's a Kaepernick reference from his college days.
I think also you look at it, in Green Bay, San Francisco hasn't played their best football the past few weeks. They kind of limped their way into this scenario. I'm gonna take close, but Green Bay wins.
Hey, Fletcher, who do you like, Green Bay or San Francisco?
I hate Green Bay. I gotta go with San Fran.
Okay.
Fletcher goes with San Fran. I guess I gotta go with San Fran.
San Fran. It's a stalemate, so
Fletcher's
it's going to be a tie.
So, last game, do we give the Texans any chance against the Patriots?
Well, if you watch the last game they played, you would usually say no. I can't pick the Texans.
Tom Brady.
Texans just have that. The Texans got away with a lot against Cincinnati. You can't settle for field goals against Mr. Brady.
And you're not going
Tom
to
Brady.
hold Brady under wraps like they did Andy Dalton. And I do like Chops throwing the ball to Andre Johnson, my fantasy football receiver.
Much closer game, but still, you can't bet against Brady right now against the Texans.
Brady's going to win the game.
Setting up for Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning.
And that's what we all want to see.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what,
I don't know. That's what everyone wants to
That's
see.
gonna be your Super Bowl.
That's what the officials are going to make happen.
Whoa!
Oh, jeez.
Whoa! Are you
Conspiracy theory.
serious?
No.
Are you serious? Are you serious with that comment?
No, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what you think.
If they were playing pool, it'd still be Denver's team would be Patriots
starting
team.
to get out of order.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be those two in the championship game. All right, well, that's all I got.
That's all you got?
You got anything else?
Oh, I guess not.
Basketball. Watch it. Yeah. That's all I got on that.
All right, coming up after the break, Kobe Bryant. You're watching the MattyVision Sports Report. We dream big.